Well, it was nice meeting you, lady. I'll be back once I set up the rods. Just, please don't kill the villagers. I doubt you would, but, just covering my bases. A lot of them don't like me already. Alright, we're at the watchtower. Can't go to Pelt. I need to sleep. So, I could leave a bronze rod on top. Climb up the ladder and push the trapdoor with one hand. The planks are thick, and as they fall down on their own weight, they make a loud thud. Find a crack between two of the bricks, use a rod to widen a bit. Push it halfway in and fill the gaps with a linen cloth. Move it a couple times just to be sure it won't detach. I wonder if it's going to lure any lightning. Climb down. Probably not. Okay. Nope. I'm gonna have to sleep here. The shivers wake you up. You open the window, inviting the dense fog in, and letting the gentle droplets form on your skin. The entire tower is shrouded by darkness. You see no stars on the ground. While I'm looking for a candle, I think of the many times I've heard parents telling their naughty kids the frogs will take them. They won't take me. You open your eyes, and there's some pleasant tingling on your cheek. Ah, it's a spug. That's fine. Okay, we're traveling. Let's go to Pelt to the north. Go to innkeeper. Any leftovers? Oh, thank goodness. Alright. I go outside, go to the well, wash my shell. Step away. Ravel. Let's go to the ruins. I'm afraid of planting this because it attract fog, but I'll do it sometime. Fish trap. I caught 2 fish. Okay, so the fish trap again. Step away. Go to the fields. Use the weird sapling. The sense there is pneuma buried in this place. You remove the linen sack and shake off the soil from the roots. Then dig a hole and plant the sapling in the middle of the field. Just to be sure you don't water it. All you can do now is wait. So you brush magenta for a bit and make sure the shadow doesn't bother it. When you return, the plank is dark from sickness, dried up, withered. The field must have been corrupted, though, seeing how there are already some plants growing from it. The spell is fading away. The curse is most likely as old as the last harvest. Well, good to know. That doesn't really change anything. It just deepens the mystery. Howler's Dell. You're next on the list. You ride through the open gate and swiftly dismount. Some of the locals greet you politely, but they keep their distance. Oh yeah. Broke. Go to trough. To the main square. Towards the end, the stools and benches are filled with people. I need to figure out a way how to get to the druids. Kakio owes me one. Tyrus has a rather unusual quest for you. I can tell Kakios to do it for me? That might work. The who? He moves forward, but even after you repeat the name, you're asked to explain who we're talking about. Oh, that one. The plant mage. He moves his fingers, mimicking the movement of vines. He sells his mushrooms every now and then. Good for vision, so what does he want? You share the story briefly, but his postal agreements make it clear it won't be easy. I do not look after druids' chests. It's Elpis you need to talk to, but knowing her, she will not give you away a magic wand. Old Orne, Torne. You ask how to find her, and he waves toward the path leading down the creek. Go and try, but our priest will not see you unless you've got a good reason to bother them. Some old student's bundle is not one. Okay. About the innkeeper. Oh, that's right, I do have fish to sell, don't I? 2. Thanks. I have a lot of rations now, which is good. But I probably should have gone for the coins. Okay, what about the mayor? You know Eustadio, the enchantress? I like to hang this rod on a watchtower for her. Let's see if the mayor agrees. You let her away to her rod in her hand. It's empty, she says. What is it for? I don't know, some sort of magic, I assume. It tracks rain and winds. She's trying to learn if the peninsula has the same weather all the time. No, she's good at telling when I can lie. It's meant to help her golems cover long distances without going crazy. She gives you a long look, then rolls the piece of bronze back to you. The answer is no. If any of us find such a rod in our woods, you and I are going to have a talk. I have no desire to wake up in the middle of the night surrounded by a stone army. Of course not. Could you read me this tablet? I had the wax tablet. 30. She raises her open palms. You open the tablet yourself and push it toward her. She leans forward with a sigh. Well, half of it is just nonsense. Some letters, numbers, a picture of a boat, I think, and one of a volcano. Sprawling out about the size of an oar. She stops suddenly. Oh, here's a name. Navisa. She sees your look and shakes her head gently. I don't know. Why are you in this tablet anyway? Who's the owner? May have belonged to Asterion. Not sure yet, but it may be important. Yeah. At first, you don't like Asterion. Let's not bring her up. Bring him up. At first, you think she nods to confirm she heard you. Then you realize she's gesturing to make you take the tablet away. Well, you could look for boats in Gale Rocks. They know them better than us inlanders. She turns away and looks at Eric's. Can you wipe this? She points at the table, and soon after, he shows up with a wet cloth. Oh yeah, I bring sad news from old Pagos. The villagers were stricken by a plague. For a few breaths, she doesn't even blink. So close to us, a plague? How? She adjusts her cape, and calls a guard with a gesture. Tell the others to gather by Ape Ale, she tells her. Looks back into your eyes. I'll pass them the news once we're done here. We have to close the gates, maybe keep strangers away. She starts to tap on her deer buckle. At least we can make some preparations. Thanks to you. Good wardening. She says that with little conviction. But you should also speak with our druids. They may have more questions for you. Fantastic. I would love to speak with your druids. The guard returns. The mayor sends her away. Warn Elpis. She must speak with Leto soon. Alright, thank you for your time. Let's leave the square. Go to the druids. This time, the tall druid gives you an encouraging nod, even though he remains on the bench. He's huge. He would do well as a guard at the city alehouse. I walk further south to this bar where the new building is being built. We approach the building site. The stone foundations are finished, and the timber frame is joined together with a set of intriguing cuts, like a large toy. One day, their walls will be whitewashed with limestone and turned into a prestigious shelter, unlike the houses made of logs and boards. The other buildings are surrounded by grass, flowers, and herbs. The turmoil of village life is drowned out by the sound of the creek, but the knocking of a hammer shatters its tranquility. The builders give you curious looks from above the log they're cutting. I'll pass them ahead to the druids. You're welcomed by the 8 elders gathered in a semicircle, watching your steps closely. They're not as large as the workers, and their clothes are far from humble. Instead of hemp pants or tunics, they wear colorful robes and dresses made of wool. They vary in length and embellishment, separating them from the outfits of monks. You spot belts and cords, sandals, and closed shoes. One person is bald, one has silver long hair, enough to cover her back like a cape. Most of the druids are clean and rested, though one is a bit sloven, with uncombed hair, stained clothes, and dusty feet. Also, unlike priests of Havlavin, their hands are marked by scars, hard skin, old burns, and missing fingers. Still in silence, a woman with a staff steps forward. This must be, I forgot her name, starts with an E. Take a closer look at her. Gray robe is decorated with brown thread and portrays leaves, tree branches, and birds. She's over 50, but the youngest one of them all. Her back is straight, the gray hair only an inch long. She doesn't need a walking stick. Her weapon is smooth, longer than she is tall. Her blue eyes are vigilant, keenly observe your face, as if in search of venom in your nose and lips. Her eyes are thin and small, formed into an austere line that shakes slightly, as if she's on the brink of a burst of anger. She says nothing. Wanted to meet you. Oh, that's right. Dyrus did tell me to cozy up to them. I bow my head and wait for her to speak first. I don't speak to spark such interest, whereas will there be a song? Assume you know who I am? Let's not waste any time. Let's bow. After many long breaths, she moves closer, her steps and smiles gently. She smells of fresh thyme, but there's an unfamiliar hint to it. Her free fingers reach for your chest, but don't touch it. Let me see your face, traveler. You straighten up, her smile is polite and vague, but her eyes, which now seem a bit brighter than they were just a moment ago, are warm. Your arrival is welcome by us, ever though the arrival may open the flood of change. Share with us your thoughts, and we'll share ours with you. Her words are slow and soft as she's delighted by their taste. Let's wait on the Dyrus thing. Dyrus thinks you should know about the plague that has fallen upon old Pagos. You tell her that you've learned at the village gates, making her lean on her staff, touching it with her cheek. We cannot help with this tragedy. The people of old Pagos are our friends, and we will not risk our lives for theirs. She turns toward the rest of her gathering. After her nods, she takes a deep breath. As she speaks, she looks at the ground. Travel south to the great leader who lives in a cave beyond the beholder, the spirit that guides us through the swamp. Only he may find a way. It's not to the beholder, just a giant tree. Okay, thanks. I'll see what he has to say. Yeah, I don't want to be annoyed. The druids give you curious glances, but say nothing. Why do you speak for the entire group? She steps away, tilting her staff toward the other druids who look at you gently. There's not a master among us. I have answers for our neighbors and I know how to guide them, that's all. For now, I'm trusted, but I'm not above anyone, and I take upon myself the burdens of daily tasks from the shoulders of the elders. One day, my soul will get cloudier, or ever lost in madness like my mother's before me. Then my lips will be sealed, and a better shell will take my place. You can't tell if her eyes show sadness or relief. Oh yeah, can you tell me about Erastos? She looks at the older elders. I doubt this boy did something that would require the attention of the city folk. Okay, well, can you tell me about your fate? She tilts her head to the right and looks directly into your eyes. What do you want to know? I'd like to hear your teachings. Give away what you can, take only what you need. From your soul, from the soil, from the fellowship of humans, you'll leave behind only ashes. Accept it and grow in peace. She ends with a kind smile. If you think 'tis not much, you're right. If you think any soul has enough years to follow this path fully, your soul is already beset by thorns. Why, in my home, our elders taught us the same thing, and I believe they're right. For me, Wright's teachings make more sense. No, let's butter them up. She raises her left hand and touches your cheek gently. At first you feel the warmth of her skin, then you lose track of time. As if her blue eyes have thrown you into a deep lake. When you shake this feeling off, you feel refreshed. Oh. Thank you? I mean, I shouldn't look a gift horse in the mouth. But since I haven't been in great shape in a while. Wait, you could have done this all this time? She observes you with a modest, kind smile. Looks like I've got into their good graces. Still, a little offended you didn't help me out sooner. Right, okay. Let's keep trying to butter her up. What does it mean to be a druid? To be worthy of trust, our elders have to trust that we'll master our shells under their guidance and use them to strengthen all of us. Our neighbors have to trust that we are worthy of their food. Ever if we do not work with our hands, the creatures need to trust that we deserve to enter their woods. She observes you for a bit and her fingers tap on her staff. This trust will never be put in an outsider. Hey, I'm not trying to become a Druid. Okay. Yeah, Override's followers have their tablets. How about you? Should I even bring up my religion? How do you feel about other religions? We do not have to feel about them. They let us live. We will not strike first. The preacher was here once, when I was but a teen. Her eyes get a bit more cloudy. I see that one could take the tablets and grow upon them. But the rat burns the freedom of others, and their followers build their gray, dead temples from the skulls of those who do not listen. We request trust, not slavery. Okay, probably not a good idea to bring up Rife. There are many rumors surrounding druids. Some of them portray you as rather cruel. Nay, one ought to seek wisdom in every mouth they see. That's fair. Her thin lips form a smirk, but her voice gets stronger. The butchers of the Unites are driven by fear, afraid to admit their old malice. They give up on their dreams of power, of comfort. They make us the monsters of their tales, for they want their people to look away as they hunt us. We're a mirror of their weakness, the sun to their shadow. We are the proof that they do not have to rule. Yeah, I think it's best we change the topic. This big bar racist with me. Tell me about your fate. Didn't I just ask about that? Yeah, I did. Have you ever met Asterion? Nay. Seeing that you wait for a more detailed answer, she taps her fingers on her staff. We had no reason to talk with them. Barry did turn me away before. Looking for a healer. What's your stance on necromancy? She grabs her staff with both hands. The awoken spit onto the order of things, on time and nature. When held by human spells, they only grow, waiting for the pneuma of corruption to cover their bones. Their will is simple and will never be forgotten. They will hunt for those we care for, and they will drink their blood. Grace hides any emotion. Her voice is monotonous, but her fingers are getting pale. The curse of necromancy does not enter our gathering. That makes me feel a little better. Ice hopes to start negotiations with the Merchant Guild. What are your thoughts? It's probably not a good idea to bring that up. Looking for a healer? She raises her head a bit, observes the silence. You will not find them here. My soul has its limits. I need to be there when an elder falls down the stairs, when a child gets a fever, when a lumberjack cuts off their arm. We do not need your dragon bones, and I will not put a stranger above my neighbors. Oh, okay, so it saps you of your soul? Well, gee, thanks then. Right. Didn't want to bring this up, but I did butter you up just for this. Yeah, Tyrus has a message for you. Listen to your tale without so much as a frown. Before she utters her first word, the other druids step away. I know where the things you seek are, and not just the wand. I'm ever willing to give them back. But you want something in return. You catch a hint of shame in her blink. I ought to ask for something. I'm under no obligation to return the possession that was run away, and I'm not too blind to spot the value of a kind gesture. I want you to return it, that's all. Elpis' whisper isn't much different from her regular speech. He nods toward the tall druid with the club who used to keep watch by the entrance, and he approaches the workers at the building site. It may serve as a distraction, but you don't have much time. I too can see the value of the kind gesture. Huh? Are we conspiring? What is it? First of all, the stuff I'm asking for isn't yours. I'm honored to be of aid. Yeah, let's butter her up. It's been working so far. I'm a man of practicality. Her eyes grow slightly shinier. Then I want you to protect my friend on their walk through the brighter woods. 'Tis not as dangerous as it sounds. For our garden is in good health, but cautiousness will not wound us. You may ever learn a bit. Are there not enough guards for such a task? Let's probably not ask that. What threat should I expect? She tilts her staff forward and gives you an encouraging smile. Unlike the dark forests in the west and south, our garden has but a few hideouts for larger beasts. On most days, you'd only find rooting boars and napping deer, or small critters hunting. It's better to keep your distance, but be wary, for such beasts rarely roam on their own, and are much smarter than most people expect. Okay, well, when do we start? Does not have to be right away. Once you've ready and a strong shell, head to the guard at the northern gate. Tell them you're looking for work, like a vagabond would do on any day. We'll warn them from coming, but do so in the early morning hours before noon. Very well. Speak to the gods in the morning, I guess. Okay. Can I ask about Aristos now? Aristos, she observes you in silence. I'm not sure why you would ask about our neighbors. Her voice gets lower with every word. But you showed us kind gestures before. He's young, lost, and sad. To heal, he ought to seek a friendly shelter among his people, not in the world outside. Okay, so I'll take that wisdom. I'll go looking for the other girl. Farewell. Help is the druidess. Buy on the tailor. Do need to get this fixed, but I'd rather go to the armorers. I have 4 hours. Alright, let's head to the ruins. Wash myself, I can't get cleaner. Oh, I set up a fish trap today, huh? Alright, pull to the north to see if we can get this Gambison fixed. Do we have coin? Oh, we don't have any coin. That's not good. Go to the well. I'm thinking the well. Approach the guards. Oh, I'd like to put this rod on your watchtower for Lucia, the enchantress. She moves it close to her face, observing her widened eyes. Is this some kind of sort of match thing? After your reassuring words, she pauses. I mean, if it's nothing dangerous, fine. I'll tie it somewhere during my watch, don't you worry. Appreciate it. Okay. Into the inn. I already asked for the leftovers today. Damn. Okay. I guess I'll sleep. Yep. Not much I could do. Alright, well, any leftovers today? Damn. I have some time to kill. Can't afford to gamble. Oh, that's right, I don't have any. Damn it. Alright, going to the well, washing my shell, stepping away, traveling. To the ruins. See if my trip. Nope. Nope, not. Okay. It's still the morning, right? Gossip for a bit, enter the village. I'm broke, fill the trough. Just wants me to offer my services to the guards. Oh, I forgot to... Damn it. Take 3 hours. Yeah, I'd rather be prepared. Sounds important. What's that icon? Oh, that's what you call it? A trader. I probably shouldn't go over there until I get his stuff. You know what? How about we just eat one of these? Maybe eat another one of these. That, hopefully that'll make up for less armor. Alright, let's offer our services to the guards. You are headed into the forest. Head into the forest garden and assist one of the druids. Who knows what for? This task will take you a few hours, if not more. After you mention that you were meant to ask for work, you're taken beyond the gate and led toward the forest garden. The field workers observe you for a bit, and one even runs closer, pretending they have to ask a guard if they're still on for a beer in the evening, but a swift lie gets rid of them quickly. The warden's about to examine some weird trails. Your walk ends where the garden gets slightly darker between 3 crabapple trees. 2 of them are heavy with fruit, but one is already earning its first autumn leaves. It's past its prime, its destiny being cut into timber is fast approaching. You're told to wait for the druid to join you, and to avoid drawing too much attention. Why does it have to be so secretive? What if someone starts asking questions? Yeah, what should I do in that case? Then lie well, answers the leader of the group. He's younger than the others, but seemingly much bolder. Or wear them down with gossip. We respect our forest speakers, but we do not want your secrets to turn on us. Okay. Draw them away from the druid and you'll be fine. His friend chips in. She has short sleeves, proud revealing the claw marks covering her arms. Ask about the broken wheel. Everyone's been talking about it for the last 3 days. Should buy you some time. Broken wheel? I wish you good luck and turn away. Soon you're alone. And now I am curious about the broken wheel. Okay, so just wait. The hooded cloaked figure chose dark green, matching the local foliage quite well, but considering the size of everyone in the village, not many of the locals would be able to hide in plain sight. Once they get closer, you recognize them by their physique alone. It's the same large, broad-shouldered man who usually guards the entrance to the square of druids, though this time he remembered about his sandals. Ready? He rushes you without a greeting. I would like to know what we're doing. Look at that bad grass. Once we get there, he points now northwest through vaguely. Maybe 'tis nothing. You stick to the beaten trails. The only songs and calls you hear come from birds and monkeys. Okay, so something's infected? I gave the head forger clear instructions. We ought to find one on our way. But be on the lookout. They're meant to distract them away from me. And you kind of draw attention to yourself. He maintains his pace. The annoyance in his voice seems to be aimed more at the situation in general than at you. The spells we learn are aimed at wounds, soils, plants, hearts. He explains. Combat not so much. I, however, used to be a guard. He straightens his arm, and his club shows up in his hand, still strapped to his wrist. A bare folk with a jump at you, I'd at least try to hit its head. The further north you get, the thicker the bushes. The paths get even narrower, and you start having to push the bushes away. Who knows what looks ahead? Better stay quiet. Won't you tell me anything about this garden? What makes you so sure the guards are not speaking with Tyus right now? What made you join Elpis? I'll be honest, I don't really care about him. I am curious about this garden, though. He swings his club, but his voice remains calm, if disinterested. It used to be more wild when I was a pup, with poisonous mushrooms, sour fruit, nest of saurons and runners. Now 'tis more of a tame yard, he says reluctantly. More useful to us than the beast tribes of old. We ever have plants on the south, like, say, looks around, the elderberry here. He points at a shrub bearing clusters of black fruit coming out of pink finger-like stems. Our mayor bought the saplings and they're rooted. Better or worse. Picks up the pace. Guess no more talking. From your left comes a weak burble, though the leaves of bushes you see the gap of vegetation marking the bed of Howler's Creek. You look downstream. Weirdly enough, you're not that far away from the walls of the village. It must be the longer path the Druids have agreed on with the foragers. Yeah, I guess we're going a long way, huh? The tall man maintains the silence for another few minutes. We're here, he announces after reaching yet another turn in yet another tree and crouches. Then you see it too, a 5-step wide patch of herbs that are all dried out despite growing in shadow and wet soil. And not just them, the grass too, and the weeds and the moss. Even the pear tree above is dying, but unevenly so. Only the branches closest to the yellowish patch are withering, but the leaves sprinkling over the area days too early. Why hide it from the others? Tyus does not need another doubt in a dagger set. His tone is absent, but he allows himself to raise his head and look you in the eyes from beneath his hood. Before we raised the alarm, we needed to make sure we've got a reason to worry. He puts on a pair of gloves and searches the soil, smelling the clumps of dirt, observing the dry leaves, pulling out the strains of roots. It's going to take some time. Keep watch. I don't know. Part of me doubts you're doing this just because you don't want... Because you don't want guys to worry. Alright, well, step away, getting used to the stillness of the area. Like in every forest, the pace here is tied not to the absence of living, rather to pushing all the noises, colors, and movements aside. Casting them is unremarkable. You avoid staring at the chirping, screaming, and jumping creatures that are smaller than your chest. Seek anything that would warrant drawing your axe. You train your ears in ignorance. You stop. A singing woman to the east. You look at the druid. You didn't notice the voice, but after you clear your throat, you realize what's happening. He waves in nothing particular, as if to make an invisible fly go away. I need more time. Stall them. The song tells of a cheerful couple dancing on the edge of a cliff, closer and closer to the fall. I nod. If they come here, I'll meet with them. She's not hiding her presence, crooning even after she notices you. Though a surprised pause occurs at first, she sends you a smile, and you're sure the two of you have exchanged a glance or two during your stay back in the village. Well, as long as she's spying. Her appearance may not be too memorable, humble height and stature, at least for the standards of her tribe, brown, simply tied hair, gambeson in the color of natural linen, an axe by her side. But what draws your attention is the tiny green and creamish monkey clinging to her arm, every now and then moving from one shoulder to another or even sitting on top of her head. It looks around curiously and occasionally lets out a screech, as if noticing someone worth acknowledging. You are also greeted with one of these screams. It has brown eyes, just like its owner. The woman comes closer, so you walk a bit down the trail, away from the withered patch. You meet by a large boulder next to a pile of gathered twigs. Point at the bag, foraging. No, I should make conversation. Right, cute monkey. 'Tis a pair only when 'tis afraid, or hungry, or wants to play. Other times, 'tis a wild, thievish beast. She grasps in protest as it pulls her hair, and the small animal lets her be. He lost his parents when 'twas too young to learn how to live with its kin. Encouraging smile. She's quite young. Must be unusually talented to be crossing the woods on her own like that. What's a Roadwarden doing in our garden? Isn't your horse missing you? I'm seeking new paths, was wondering if there was a convenient route forward around here. What would keep her busy the most? I'm collecting herbs, examining some dark rumors. I can't tell you more than that. There were reports of a weird animal trail. I decided to look around. I was asked to help someone, that's all I can say. I shrugged. No, that's too suspicious. Dark rumors is too close to the truth. Unless a good lie is partially true. You're collecting herbs? No. She might sound that suspicious. I'm examining some dark rumors. I can't tell you more than that. That way I get her asking. Then she gets curious, right? And then she asks me something, and then she's invested already in the story. It's perfect. I'm examining some dark rumors. I can't tell you more than that. Her eyes widen in alarm, and after a tense moment of her shoulders, the monkey clings to her arm. Such as what? Something tied to my home there? She points toward Howlers with her thumb. Does the man know about this? An awkward silence. She looks around and takes a step forward. Okay, maybe this is a bad idea. I need to distract her. You think about any topic conversation you could bring up here, but you're already at a disadvantage. Damn it! Lie. I pretend I'm interested in learning more about her. There's quite a few kids in Howlers, a joyful bunch. I've spent quite time working with your neighbors, some hard-working people. I've spent some time gossiping with the locals. I could lure her into a friendly conversation. That's true, I have. By the way, I've heard that some weird incident in the village, something about a broken wheel. Oh, that's right, the broken wheel. You do not know? The way she raised her chin may suggest surprise, but her tone betrays her eagerness to fill you in. It's just a simple It's just a anecdote fitting the slow life of a village on the edges of the province. The head sheep breeder was taking their buckets and bottles of milk deeper into the village, like he often does. But this time, he also packed in all the souring supplies, some of them days old to save time. He lost control of the cart after one of the wheels hit a rock, and everything split on the ground. She gets into many colorful details of white puddles, dirty shoes, and curious yet disgusted crows. At first, you struggle to see what's so sensational about this tale. Then you realize the possible value of the lost supplies, especially if the milk were to be turned into cheese. For the locals, it's a meaningful, humorous loss shared by all of them. Well, it wasn't as interesting as I thought it'd be. Okay, yeah, I spent some time gossiping. I can use that to my advantage. Go through a polite exchange of names, traits, places, and events you've kept in your memory for whatever reasons, gaining a few updates and broader context, some old rumors. It's easy to tell which people are especially interesting to her, mainly other foragers, guards, and her young friends. And as far as you can tell, she holds Dias in pretty high regard. No kidding, she almost tattled on me. I spent quite a lot of time working with your neighbors, some hardworking people. Thanks to the tiresome tasks, you managed to memorize a few guards and workers and use this insight to portray the villagers flatteringly. She takes great pride in the fact that you acknowledge their efforts and allows herself to add some rather boring details of their plans for the future, all of which seem to be tied to collecting and gathering more supplies, tools, and opportunities, maybe even broadening the wall for the next generation. You struggle to see how the druids fit into these ambitions. In most villages, they would oppose such invasive plans. Okay, well, I'll bring up Aristos. That's a young person. Aristos quite eager to leave, huh? The monkey jumps onto the ground and starts to run around the two of you until its guardian addresses it with a few kind words of promises. The bears are coming. She then looks toward the sun and smiles at you. Love to chat with you, but I've got stuff to do. Finding these treats is just a start. She crouches, allowing the monkey to climb up her sleeve and steps away. Yeah, take care of yourself. I always do. He waves at you and heads down the path south. Yeah, how is it so bad? You wait for her to disappear behind the thicket, then return to the druid. He raises his head, briefly looking you in the eyes before turning to his investigation. Nice job. Did you find any answers? Almost. The Numa's in here, but I need to pin it down. Maybe dig a bit. Give me more time. After another half an hour of observing the woods, this time, without interruptions, you hear the man's call. He's standing next to the patch, giving a solemn look. Something's in there. Could be an undead, casting curses and dark spasms. I need to bring this news back to the village. The whole garden patch is now in chaos, thoroughly dug through. An undead is buried there? Do you need my help? Aye. He looks at his hands covered in soil, then toward the creek separated from you by impenetrable shrubs. He decides to use his robe as a towel. A huge waste of time. Tyus needs to hear about it and out of the way. So everyone's going to know, but 'tis better than death. Ever yours. You could swear there was a friendly twist in his voice. Oh, right. As for my reward. A moment. He reaches under the edge of his robe and pulls out a small bundle from one sack. Your gift. A gift? A frown. Why do you think the warlock wants this trash? Elpa says it must be a gift for his parents. The bad blood between them, ever more so. evermore so ever since he ditched the necromancer's teachings. He utters the word with disgust. Or did you think he had a real wand with him as a boy? He doesn't wait for a reply. Let's part ways. Do not mention this trip to anyone. Never the druidness. Let's not spread fear. Whilst we can. Alright. A bad blood between them. Wait, what is it? Kai's gift. The odds and ends are meant to be offered to an old couple in the White Marshes. An old, slightly moldy bundle that contains a doll, a small shirt, a broken wand, and a vine-shaped sack. Alright, well, farewell. Aye, good work here with all the talking and such. He nods to you and puts on his hood again and picks the shorter path. Yeah, I'm not the best at it, but hey, gotta make do, right? I stick to the more obscure paths, avoiding curious eyes. You're wandering through the village. A washwoman is singing about the last sunbeams of summer, but her heavy accent makes her words difficult to understand. A woman in a brown robe observes you from a distance and walks away when you make eye contact. I can't tell if that was rude or not. Do I have time? There's a hunting trip. I'll do it. Turns out you don't have much to do. Fantastic. Alright. Do I have time to travel? 3 hours, but then I won't have time to get back. Which is unfortunate. I think I already checked for fish. Let me see if I can use the grappling hook. Rock slide has made the path impassable. Nope, couldn't. So still have time, okay. Pay someone a visit. Clopping for Palafricarius fills the silent corridors of rocks. Quintus looks at you from the top of the precipice that's near the tower. He crosses the parapet and leans forward. He greets you with a nod and adjusts his jacket. Oh, right. Put one in the tower. Do you know Odyssia, the enchantress? I was wondering if you could place this in your tower for her. You unpack and show him the rod. Lighter than it looks, he says quietly. And I know Odyssia. She always does aught weird. She was a quiet kid, but a smart one. Never tried to steal my milk. Oh, that's right. She is from Old Pagos. He hands it back to you and puts an unpleasant smirk. But I'm doing naught for free. Oh, come on. Let me guess. Bring me 6 rations, some tasty ones. My people won't be happy that I'm doing favors for a dissenter. I don't mean you. He clears his throat after seeing your look. I better get strong before I start making excuses, no? Alright. Well, I'll let you know if I get more rations. It's too dangerous to stay here. Do I have time to go to Howler's Dell? I don't. Alright. I mean, Pelton North. Back to Howler's Dell. Yeah, I have so little coin. Okay, these are getting shorter. Oh, even more shorter. That's fantastic. Okay, I can offer my services. Fantastic. All right. We got 10 hours. Pete Fields is 3:15. If I go over here, it'll be 1:15. And then over here would be 4:30. Because I would like to wash up. I am pretty unclean. Of course, I could visit Pelt. You know what I'll do? I'll go here first, then I'll come back down. But is that worth it? Okay, we'll go this way. Then we'll come back down. Then we'll come back this way. Then we'll stay here. And then we'll go up tomorrow. I think that works. Because I would like to wash myself. See if the fish trap. Nope. Hell to the north. Let's see. Throw some dice. Damn it. I have 4. Go to the armor. Need your services. Repair it. Leave the shed. Wait, what was that? I feel like this Gamison could use some adjustments. Nods enthusiastically, but then apologetically points behind him in a small box with basic tools. He ain't that experienced, says his assistant. We do this and that, but only that simple things. Right, I think you told me that before. Okay, abandoned watchtower then. Which way should we go? Let's go there first. Take a look at the signpost. Plank on top points both north and south. There are no pictures that would tell you anything more than that. Bottom plank has a picture of a tall tower surrounded by little houses and points west. The wood is covered in red paint. So don't go west. Alright, we'll check out north. No trees or crags blocking the sun. The road is bright and inviting. The simple bridge is centuries old, bitten by time. It makes you think of the dolmen you saw south of you. The torrent here is deep and fast, with plenty of fish. The boat is destroyed beyond repair, rotten, falling to pieces, with holes in the floor and on the sides, overgrown with fungi and moss. The thick shrubs lining the path are covered with thorns. Small birds are just jumping from one twig to another, pecking at the brown berries. You think about picking some of the fruit, but you're not sure if they're edible. I think I'll wash myself more. Okay, let's see if we try 45 minutes. I'll look around for an hour or so, maybe I can find something of use. After what feels like an eternity of searching around the boat, the banks, and the shrubs, you sit down on the bridge to take a break, and realize you haven't actually looked beneath it. You kneel on the grass and look into the darkness. Among the cobwebs and bugs, you spot an old piece of fabric pinned under a rock. You pull it out and find a rotting, torn pouch that contains a single dragon bone. Make sure you haven't missed the other ones in the dirt, but if they ever existed, they have rolled down and sunk for good. Well, I guess I got one dragon bone out of this. Gento looks around nervously and approaches you when it notices your attention. But I'm staying here. Oh, so I got 2 hours? Okay. What about the fish? Maybe I should move the trap over here. You see dozens of red and gray shells as you walk by. They said close, following your steps. Maybe I'll bring the trap here, see if this is any better. And wash myself? You undress, keeping your axe to the side, and check the water with your hand. As warm as it is clean. You step in, hearing your mount's fearful snort. You tell it to quench its thirst, but then a harsh bite reaches your calf. Look down. Another wave of pain runs through your legs, and your blood flows downstream. In a panic, you climb out, grabbing a clump of grass. A fish is still holding your thigh. You pull it and squeeze with anger. Its mouth is filled with thin, inch-thick, inch-long teeth. You need a bandage. Damn it! Cast in the bushes and make it suffocate. It's my fault. It just looks around nervously and approaches you when it notices your attention. Let's get back. Alright, let's get into the tower. Sleep. Stupid fish. The rain once again hit the ground, interrupting your sleep on the day of muddy roads. Okay. Traveling time. Muddy roads slow you down. I am already here. Wouldn't hurt to explore more. Alright, let's do it. The gentle road leads downhill, getting greener and less rocky the farther north you get. Just in case your eyes turn toward drier parts of the meadow, and you instantly shout at Magenta to make haste. A pack of short-haired wolves, at least 20 number and strong, is chasing after you. Their coats are a mixture of yellow, black, and white spots. Someone threw mud and paint on them. You move toward the road with a human-like speed, and you realize only some of them are running straight to you. Can I eat? No, I can't. Damn. Trying to cut through my path. If it wasn't for your palfrey, the beast would have already caught up with you. Their trap was perfectly set up, not leaving you any path to escape. Your terrified mount is disciplined enough to stay on the beaten path, and even though one of the big-eared wolves almost sinks his teeth into your mouth's thigh, you manage to squeeze between the hunters. For the next few minutes, you do your best to get further away. While your gallop is indeed faster, the wolves easily shorten the distance by moving through the sparse forest. You ride past a wooden cabin, placed in a clearing at the bottom of a rock face, but you can't stop while the pack is at your back. Damn, maybe I have something I could use here. You think about your sacks and bundles, but the pack won't wait for you to sort things out. The group gets larger the further you go, and as even more of its members, previously hidden among the trees and grasses, now join the hunt, allowing their tired family members to slow down. You may be able to lose them after some time, but scaring or wounding some of them may force them to give up on their prey sooner. An axe doesn't have enough range to hit such a short animal, but my crossbow is ready. You reach for the drawn crossbow and a bolt, then lock your sights on the closest creature. You wait until you learn its rhythm, then shoot once it's in midair. The arrow flies through the wolf's flesh, causing it to let out a pained cry and plunge to the ground. Its concerned allies howl with fear and anger, while a few of them try to keep up. Many more stay behind and surround their pack members, protecting it from potential threats. After another few minutes, you are alone again, this time at the edge of the hills. Magenta is tired but patient, more happy to survive than it is angry with Wanderlust. At least you can hope the pack will move to a different place during the night. I'll let it rest for a bit and look around. The cabin might come in handy. No, I guess we're not staying at the cabin. The valley is flanked by hills. To the west, the grasses and bushes blend into the horizon and turn into another part of the forest. The southern hills are gray and tall, with forest-like rock faces and crowned conifers. The northern ones have countless sand-colored rocks, lumped together like piles of rubble and clay, bearing hardly any soil or weeds. The plants here are struggling. The grass is short and yellowish, sometimes dried out. The bushes have silver leaves, like many plants from sunny areas. The mushrooms can't hide in the shadows, but as you approach one, you see it's growing from the remains of a dead bird. While others are covering old branches and other plants, they won't last much longer. It'll be easy to spot any larger beasts around. Even though you squint, you spot no creatures that you need to worry about. There are boot prints in the road, as well as in the short grass, fresher than on any of the other parts of the eastern road. Since many mushrooms were cut away with a knife and you notice few berries on the shrubs, you conclude it's a foraging spot for the people from the north, though here doesn't seem to be much food left. There are almost no prints leading farther south. Since the area is for a beast, I spent some time foraging. Pick 2 bunches of wild plants. Let Magenta keep itself busy while you walk around looking for anything edible. Yeah, it needs some rest. It takes a fair bit of time. You don't plan to carry around raw mushrooms and bugs, and the wild vegetables need to be washed before you put them in your bags. You finally find a few handfuls of plants, fruits, and nuts. Next time, however, it's not going to be so easy. The area has been already cleared by other foragers. Damn, I won't find much food today. It is a spot to check out, though. I best better eat. Well, that means I have less rations now. But if I'm traveling, might as well. Okay. Foraging grounds. Onward. The air is humid but fresh. vitalizing. The light touches the road and shrubs, blocked only by the single willow, wild and untrimmed. You're by a lake, too large for you to see its other bank, but the local soil isn't too fertile. There are only a few trees on the horizon, while the shrubby bushes and grasses fight with layers of rock. The path leading farther north is green, bright, and calming. The gray rabbit is cleaning its fur near the brook, but the sound of the hooves make it hop toward the nearest shrub. Right after it sinks to the leaves, you hear it squeal, cut off quickly. Whatever its hunter was, it leaves behind only the rustling of the thicket and the trail of blood. You wait for a long minute with a hand on your axe. The creature doesn't return. You relax a bit, then head toward the stone statue of a young woman. Odd. I'll ride closer to it. Such a monument would be better fit for a temple or a rich city folk's house. Here, without any cover, it's already losing its shape from the rains and dust. Chunks of the face and hair have already been broken off. It has detailed eyes and human-like proportions, and the clothes are like fabric petrified by a spell. The statue carries the usual traveling equipment, a walking staff, a gambeson, some simple pants now covered by leaves. It's a shame to see it deteriorating. I look at the pedestal. Maybe someone left a valuable offering here. Dismount and approach the bushes covering the legs and the pedestal. See some old wooden bowls as well as rocks. Try to push the leaves away, but their stems are thick and healthy, crowded with insects and spiderwebs. Until you remove the thicket, you won't be able to see if there's anything worth stealing. Thankfully, there are no thorns, and the touch of a leaf doesn't make your finger itchy. Not stealing, it's abandoned. The statue needs no gifts. In about half an hour, I can use my axe to cut down the bushes and twigs. I consider washing myself in the stream. Yeah, it's not stealing. No one's here. Plus, it's for a good cause. You know, keeping me alive, so I can continue to warden the roads. If you say so. What does that mean? I'm talking to myself. I'm insane. I've gone insane. Okay. In about half an hour, I can use my axe to cut down the bushes and twigs. Might as well. I am, of course, the Roadwarden. Better warden these roads. Cut the magenta to the tree, letting it choose between drinking, grazing, and napping. Prepare your equipment, keeping an eye on the bush where you saw the rabbit's last moments. You use your weight to move the plants to one side, then cut right above the ground. Stems are healthy and flexible, so getting through them is rough, but you have enough strength to deal with them in a couple of minutes, then throw them into the lake. The work goes on for a bit, but once you're done, the statue stands in its former glory. A couple of old offerings are still on the pedestal, polished rocks, bone figurines, and moldy bowls and plates that used to store food. In one vessel, you see a dragon bone. It's dark and could be older than a generation. It would surely be accepted by any merchant. Well, left here for a good reason. I should leave it behind. No, I'm taking this. It's not stealing. It's a statue. You wash it with the brook and straighten up just a tiny bit richer. The statue is silent. As it should be, it's a statue. You know, I definitely do need to wash myself. The brook would hardly cover your feet. You could sit on the pebbles and splash yourself with water. 3 pieces of bathing equipment. Where do I even get another piece of bathing equipment? You wash your sweaty skin, which enter quenches its thirst and looks for intruders. Okay. I guess that's it for now. Keep moving. The lakeside is filled with the chirping of cicadas and crickets, as well as the roaring of beasts from the hills. The tall yellow grasses are interwoven flowers and bumblebees, while the peaceful water shines just as much as the wings of dragonflies. This road is often traveled, and the clatter of hooves carries far. Thanks to the vast field of view, the creature hiding in the meadows are unlikely to jump on an animal as large as magenta. In the distance, you see a palisade, and a large building set on the side of a crossroad. Once you get closer, you hear a conversation from behind the wall. 2 men are arguing about if they really just heard a horse. Maybe they know some useful rumors. There's no signpost anywhere nearby, so I'd better ask for directions. Then they would think I'm lost. Who knows? They might be bandits. Then if they don't know me, they would get it. So I'm probably lost. And I need directions more than I do rumors, so fine. Magenta carries you toward the open gate on its own, welcoming opportunity and rest by pushing out the lair loudly through its nostrils. A wooden pen won't offer much space for a horse, but should be enough for grazing and a nap. As you dismount, two men get up from the front stairs. Their clean-shaven faces reveal that they're in their early 20s. The first one is taller than you, broad shoulders, and wears light brown pants and a darker jacket, both of them made of leather. With an inviting smile, he gets up and moves to open the closure. His steps are heavy and slow, but every moment is marked with care, ensuring he won't knock down anything or anyone. The second man looks as different from his calling as the sun from the moon. He's unusually short and wears a heavy cloak made of black fur, so large it could cover his entire shell. He opens the door of the building, hides his head, and peeks into the room. "Fog it!" His voice is shrill and unconcerned. "A messenger, come!" I take off some bundles, let my horse rest. A hanging barrel sways in the wind, marking the place as an inn or a tavern. Oh, that's right, it's the other tavern. The building resembles a merchant's house from Havlaven, whitewashed and with oiled, elegant wooden beams. The fragile walls are high enough to avoid floods and snow, but you have no doubt that a troll or even a peddler could easily break through them. The palisade is short, has hardly any support, and has no walkway for crossbowmen. Hardly enough for even a makeshift hamlet. Yet it's the open harbor that makes you uneasy. Aside from the fish, any creature, aquatic or not, could just walk into the yard undisturbed. Half is covered with paw prints and claw marks. Better not to leave Magenta outside during the night. A black and white bird swoops into the water, then flaps its wings and takes off with a silver twitching creature in its talons. A large man clears his throat. "What have we here? Coming from afar, friend? They're not horses and howlers?" His voice is stentorian, close to a shout. You vaguely recognize his accent as one found at the city harbor. Alright, well, quite fair, kind soul. Magenta came with me from Havlaven. I laugh. Far, far away indeed. You can't see it from here. They have donkeys and mouflons, but no horses. I came from the city. I stare at him in silence and look at the door, waiting for the keeper of this place. Yeah, I have a long journey behind me. I need a place to rest. I do have a long journey behind me. I need a place to rest, but I'm gonna be staying with them. Just be practical. Quite far, kind soul. Magenta came with me from Havlaven. He nods appreciatively. "A weird beast, eh? A donkey that can kill man?" You notice he keeps quite a distance from it and holds his hand close to his throwing club. "Haven't seen one in a while. The roads here aren't that bad. They'll take you north and east with ease." You hear heavy footsteps. A woman shows up in the doorway and looks at you from the top of the stairs. She's even more towering and stout than her son, the man who just welcomed you. With a massive chest and a bear-shaped face with a prominent chin, her movements are comprised and confident. She may be older than 50, with a mixture of gray and dark blonde hair. She has only one arm, the left one, notably muscular, with a hand so large could likely chop off Magenta's head with a single strike, or crush yours like a berry. Through the slit of her robe, made of creamy, worn fur, you spot her trunk-like legs. She runs her eyes over your blade, armor, and mount. Her lips form into something of a smile, distorted by the scar that runs through her mouth. The tall guy looks a lot like her. The tall man spreads his arms, forming a chain between you and his mother. "Meet Foggy, friend. Ma, the rider has come to us from Havlaven. Just look at this horse." His powerful voice turns timid, and he keeps turning his head from left to right and back. "Too bad we have no hay. He looks hungry." The woman looks at him with amusement, then glances at your palfrey. "Aye, a cute monster you bought, but not enough fat on it. If it ever breaks a leg, bring it here. We'll smoke it for you winter." She vaguely stretches out her only hand. "What brings you to Foggy Lake, love? Just stopping by?" Voice is hoarse, like that of a traveler who spent too many autumn nights in cold tents. It carries a hint of muddled concern. I close down with pen behind me and head toward the stairs. "You won't find another shelter in this part of the Dragonwoods, especially not in the creeks." She scratches her broad chin with sausage-like fingers. "You drink?" Oh, do I drink? I smile in good company. I shake my head gently. I don't, but go ahead, I'll accompany you. I make a single loud clap and rub my hands together. I wouldn't dare to insult your hospitality. I nod from time to time. I shake my head only if there's no water around. I raise my open palms, only with those I trust. I put on a weak smile, not on an empty stomach. I sigh. I'm afraid so. Stronger drinks give me nightmares. I'm not that hungry. No. I will be cordial, in good company. That's what I'd like to hear. Her brief, powerful laughter is enough to scare away the birds from above the lake. Your mount lets out a fearful snort. Let's not wait then. Come, dear, share a story with me in a mug. Without waiting for your response, she walks inside. The tall man takes a deep breath. Go ahead. We'll take care of your horse. He encourages you with a gesture. And by that, he means we won't do anything with it. As the man in black fur, whenever his screechy words follow the deep voice of his companions, he sounds like a brat. We won't be feeding or washing beasts that aren't going in the stew, but we'll keep an eye on it. They find a new spot to the rest. The side of a boat and a stool near the palisade. Without another word, I go up the stairs. I ask if they plan to join us. Right. The large man chuckles. We don't have any guards. We need to stay sharp, no drinking, no leaving valued possessions behind. He nods towards your horse. We'll feast in the winter when we get a break from this place. I nod and go up the stairs. The narrow segmented window shutters let in a lot of light without letting the beast inside. The air is humid, but carries not a hint of putridity. The heels of Foggy's boots make her steps thunder even though the planks don't creak. Make yourself at home, she says without looking at you, heading to the trapdoor in the corner. I'll just grab a little something. Your ears catch the screeches of hunting birds and the wind that leaves in through the windows. But other than that, the room is quiet. Okay. Well, I'm sure she wouldn't mind if I look around. Just the main hall. The room is cramped with stuff. Bear pelt on the ground would be a nice resting spot, but the place doesn't look like a real home. No chests, no cabinets for clothes, no toys or tools for simple crafts that would fill the time during rainy evenings. Living with so many windows in winter would be a struggle. One could clear this place in one morning and move all that's worth saving onto a single wagon. The only things of exceptional value are the cauldron, it is pricey steel, and the hanging head of an insect-like monster. That's this thing. That was a skull. I guess it is a skull. The mandibles don't move, the dim eyes seem intact, and its armored head tells a long story of survival through scratches and cuts. Check the basement and look where the ladder leads. I sit down at the table and wait for the keeper's return. Well, it is an inn. I imagine the ladder will lead to some place you could stay. Climb up the simple rope ladder and reach the attic. It smells like a haystack. The floor is covered with animal furs, bags, and clothes. There's a soul sitting in a corner, a bearded man in his 20s, who has only the right hand, though unlike the tavern keeper, he has kept the rest of his arm. His sleepy eyes observe you without a word. After he greets you with a nod, he starts to put on his boots. Maybe he's going to join us for drinking. Checking the basement seems a little rude. Is that where she went, though? I guess there would be only where she went, right? Check the basement. The meager light hinders your view. There are dozens of barrels, sacks, stone fools, and pieces of roasted fish or bird. Fogg notices you, but doesn't say anything. He looks for something among a bunch of bottles. There's a couple more animal trophies placed on the top of the barrels and leaning against the wall. Fangs, claws, monster heads, and a lizard skin. Quite a collection. Well, I guess she doesn't need help. I sit down at the table and wait for the keeper's return. You take a glance on the blood on the table, the shattered yellow feathers, and a bowl of guts and talons. You find yourself a clean stool. Foggy shows up soon, smiling, holding 2 cups in her hand, a bottle on their fingers, and a cloth under her shoulder. She puts everything on a stool and wipes the table clean. Forgive the mess, just a part of the job, she explains without a hint of apology. I'd rather dress birds in the yard, but the blood lures beasts. Sometimes the folks from creeks bring us meals, but we need to take care of ourselves. She throws the bloody cloth back into the bucket, making a splash, then sits down on the stool, making it look like it was made for a doll. She rests her elbow on the table and looks you in the eyes. Her voice is warm, yet intrusive. So, who am I dealing with? Alright, I guess I introduce myself. I'm Leto, your new Roadwarden. The bar removes its seal seemingly by itself. The wax floats in the air briefly, then lands on the table gently. Without a word, she pours the thick liquid into the cup with her only hand, but doesn't offer you your drink just yet. Trying to learn more about the peninsula. The tavern seemed like a fair shot. Looking for Asterion, the previous Roadwarden. I'm going to need shelter every now and then. I stay on the road for most of my days. I hope to trade a fair bit in the coming days. I wanted to see what I can get here, leave behind some coins. Just hoping to find work. If nothing else, can always carry a message for you. Work would be nice, but, you know. Inns are hard to come by, shelters are hard to come by, so I do need shelter. She approaches a window above the table and looks outside. Your beast won't make it easy for us, dear. She places her hand on the shutters. It's not a city inn. I don't cook for a smile. I don't work to feel noble. I allow folks to lie down there for free. She points to the bare fur with her broad chin. That's about it. If your horse stays outside, it'll lure the beast to us, but if you move it in here, upstairs, it'll leave its droppings on my floor. She gets annoyed even by the idea of it's happening. And if you want to rest here, love, be ready to either pay with a coin or some food rations, or to spend the night keeping your mount quiet and clean after the morning, will ya? She gives you a wide grin and moves back to the stool. Why now? Go ahead. Enjoy your drink. You raise the cup to your nose. You smell flowers, yeast, and hops. The liquid is golden on the edges, but resembles red amber in the center. It's as thick as an herbal medication. You take a look at your companion, seeking a hint of what's expected of you. In some places, people gulp down their mead, but your vessel allows you to appreciate the aroma. The huge keeper smiles and takes a sip. You follow her lead. The drink touches your lips. It's warm, hiding none of its subtleties. Drinking mead is a never-ending conflict between holding the taste in your mouth and saving yourself from the tormenting sweetness of honey. Yet the flavors of flowers are just as pleasant, too difficult to capture just yet. Some good mead. I've had worse. Foggy leans forward with an elbow resting on the table. Well, for me it's a lazy day. At least the rain spare us. So nicely holding off till the evenings. What's the story behind this place? Can't be more than a few years old. It's our third summer under the roof of Foggy Lake, but the palisade is older. Used to be a camping spot for the bird catchers from creeks. There are fish here that don't swim in our streams. When we were but newcomers in the north, these lands were hard to bend. But the beasts got used to us with time. Melancholy crawls onto her eyes. She observes the mead in her cup. Every year or so, we added something new. The rocks for a campfire, some stools, a fence. A firewood shed, a boat. At one point, we bought the lumber from White Mosses and built a cabin like the one at the Eastern Road. More folks started who rested here. Even traders from Gale Rocks and Old Pagos. Plenty fine spot for an inn, eh? Smile is warm. I'm building my home from nothing, you could say, and not for the first time. How about you? Does any of it sound tempting? Building a home? I don't know. A place far away from my Blavins, somewhere where I can rest after a day of work without an aching back. My home is wherever I could find kind people. Something I can ask myself after I've saved some dragon bones, right? If I ever get there. I used to be like that, waiting for decisions until I had no other option. But when nights got colder, it's good to think you're getting closer to your goal, to something you can name. Her eyes turn absent. Don't you have a kid? You named your kid. How do you stay safe from the beasts you cryptically opened from the lake? Who brought you north? You don't look like someone who spends their life cleaning tables. Yeah, that's not. What's better conversation here? Once you burn up dead friends and relatives, clean tables start to look pretty tempting. Okay, that got darker than I expected. She leans forward and takes another look at her bottle, sealing it with an approving nod. My mom and pa were both big and strong. One time, they saw me sitting on this kid, twisting his arm.
So they started to teach me. Staff duels running, lifting barrels and rocks. Thankfully, the army chieftain said I wasn't disciplined enough.
She rubs the scars on her forehead.
So I did a lot of things. Escorted some merchants, joined a group of adventurers, hunted for bounties, guarded a village temple.
The last memory makes her voice gloomy.
Not all of these things make me proud of myself.
She smells the meat in her cup, doesn't take a sip.
I moved here only after I lost my arm, when the folks were fleeing the invasion. I took my hand, a casket of dragons, and joined the more organized group. Arm or not, I still have a fierce punch.
She lets out a pleased grunt.
I was worth keeping around.
Her voice can't hide that she's delighted to carry on with her tale.
Now that the years are catching up with me, and even more so with my back, I need to build myself a decent shelter. I crave no adventures, but I'm happy to hear stories from other restless souls. In the meantime, I'll practice this little trick.
She points at the cauldron in the middle of the room and starts to make circles with her finger. The ladle mimics the movements, mixing the stew for a minute or two.
That's also good for my back.
Alright, well, how do you stay safe from the beast and completely open from the lake? That's her talking about dark topics.
Quick legs, love.
Her brief yet thunderous laughter makes you flinch.
Oh, we don't leave any food outside, but our cauldron smells. Every now and then, something scary shows up. We lock ourselves in here for days if we have to. Our windows help us keep an eye on the yard. Better that than leaving the hamlet to goblins.
You mentioned that having no wall from the lakeside is quite a risk. She nods in agreement and takes another sip.
We don't bring children and old folks around, but this part of the peninsula is not so bad, at least in sunlight. Not much food growing or running around, unless you can live on fish and birds. And the folks at creeks are great hunters. The greatest around. But isn't there a harbor in the city as well? How do you keep the creatures away?
I'm used to avoiding Havlavin. The guards and sailors make it too dangerous for them. They mostly stay in the water, waiting for trash or junkers to fall off a bridge. Every now and then, something large shows up between the boats or even enters the streets. People learn to run away and leave it to soldiers, but from time to time there are casualties. Actually, the flying beasts bother us. Now, to answer the question, I imagine they stopped coming to Havlavin before my time.
See, that's what I hope for. With enough time with crossbows, walls can only get safer. I just have to play it smart and take some risks. So far, it's working.
Fair. Any interesting beasts you hunt for?
Oh, I hunt for nothing, she smirks. Not since I lost my arm, and the boys outside are not made for it either. They're no drive to fight, you see, and grew up to be wimps. They sometimes club down a hare, but we're all about foraging and bird traps now.
Huh. You wouldn't think, they're so big.
The folks in creeks are the real hunting, she adds after a pause. Runners, mouflins, rats, sometimes a buffalo or a siren. We have no soil for fields, so game meat is all we have left.
She stretches out, getting even taller.
Do you hunt often?
If I'm about to starve, I don't enjoy killing. Sometimes I set up traps. I don't risk facing big game. Of Lavin, you won't find much game aside from rats and pigeons. I do. Making a monster bleed makes me feel alive. That sounds dark. Even if it is true. It's really the only thing I feel like I'm good at. Killing. But I don't want to say that. Yes. If I'm about to starve, I don't enjoy killing. That's a bold-faced lie.
You picked the rough trade for yourself, then. I used to like it, hunting, sure, but even more so crushing the undead. I even cut down a few bandits for a good pay. But now, when my dumb ape of a son goes on a longer trip, my heart pounds like a hammer.
She thuds her clenched fist against her chest.
I couldn't go on like this. Bandits also have mothers, eh?
Name's Foggy. Does Foggy Lake's the tavern named after you, or after the lake? That's actually a good question.
The lake has no name.
She moves her cup away and leans forward, resting her elbow on the table. Voice is playful, warm.
Yet, I mean. There will be stories about this place, believe me, and about passing by the lake while getting to Foggy's. I may not be a dragon slayer or a holy woman, but one way or another, my soul will live on in my name, tied to these walls.
She looks at you in silence, then bursts into laughter. You could swear she makes the jar shake.
I'm plenty fine being vain.
And we all want to be remembered, I think. Not everything that's vain is wrong. It's probably better to stay humble. Yeah, I guess we all want to be remembered. I think.
My pa used to say memories of our lives in the blood of our children, but guess what? Kids die as well. All my brothers and sisters gone.
She pauses, but there's no sadness in her eyes.
Stories have a better reach, eh? We can tell each other about strangers who lived centuries ago. There's magic in that.
I nod toward a spot where her right arm should be. Any story there? Ooh. So you can move things with your thoughts? Oh, that's dumb. What's going to happen next? Will you build a real wall? You seem to be into expensive drinks. Now, look what happened next. Will you build a real wall?
Why not? Then grow my connections to the village, buy more hard drinks, build another shed, a cabin, even hire a private warden for these roads, for my guests.
She sips from her cup, looking at you.
But it's all in the distant future. We at Creeks need to take care of the eastern route, clear it for the traders. Without trade, all I have is the locals. They don't even use dragon bones. But why do you care, dear? Are you planning to stay around?
No. I have places to go. Merchants to meet, unfortunately. To help spend a long time in Havlav. Not by choice. Stay on the road, visit other parts of the Dragonwoods. That'd be ideal.
Is that so? Well, tales I've heard make me glad I know a place of my own. The trails grow green and thorny. The villages turn empty. The cities lose their reach.
She leans forward and stares into your eyes.
If that's really your plan, it won't end well for you. What will you do without roads?
Not toward the spot where your right arm should be. Yeah, let's change the topic. She doesn't look the type that wouldn't answer this question. Leans back, moving her shoulders and chest up and down as she's having a soundless chuckle.
Not one I'm going to share with a newcomer, dear. Stay alive until next autumn. I'll open a cask of cold cider. Tell you quite a tale. That's treason, treasure, monsters, and dark spells. But I'm way too sober for it now.
She grabs her cup. Her wink turns into an awkward blink. Alright. That made me laugh. So you can move things with your thoughts? No, I'm not gonna say that. You seem to be into expensive drinks.
The pricey ones are gifts I received, or treasures I found when I was young. I also bought a few, I like to offer something unusual to the wealthier or more promising guests.
She tilts her cup.
I dabble with some recipes myself. I've plenty of brewing tools, though I can name maybe half of them. Still, from ales to hard drinks, I had some successes.
Why, I'm honored to be a promising guest, I guess. Let's change the topic. Your scarred lips form a grimace of a smile. Right, I'm looking for Asterion, previous Roadwarden. Looks at you for a long moment without the slightest movement.
Now, why do you think he's here?
I'm not saying that I do. Maybe you know where I could find him? Yeah, I'm just asking around. While her voice remains calm, her thin eyes get distrustful.
You've scared me a little bit. I don't want any nasty rumors. Sure, some of those who travel through fog disappear on the road, but it's a safe place. We don't hold slaves.
He waves toward the trapdoor.
You can check and see.
I did. When was the last time you saw him? Glance at the window.
Same as the others in the late days of spring. We were waiting for his return, me and all the villages, then moved on. No idea where he went.
All the villages? He turns towards you with the fierceness of a bear.
That's what I said.
Okay. All the villages. What did old Pago say about him? I think they just assumed he died. There's still creeks, scale rocks, and white marshes I had to talk to. Well, what can you tell me about him? Never met the guy.
She rests her only hand across her stomach, which you identify as her version of crossing her arms. A customer and an errand runner, what's there to say? Your additional questions don't get any more answers. She brings up the man's looks and equipment without adding much to what you've already learned from Tulia. He was paying with dragons, rarely botted. She adds, that's what city folk do, eh? Seeking riches, then locking themselves in the chamber, prisoners of their might. I smile. Well said. I frown. It's not really what I'm aiming for. I shrug. See no problem with that. Nah. I'm tired of the city. Wouldn't mind trading in rations, I guess. Her chuckle makes you think of a wolf's growl. Did he do any jobs for you? She presses her tongue against her cheeks and lips. Well, I'm not sure. He was bringing me news, reliving my messages. Told me some stuff. Sometimes bought a thing or two. His life wasn't really that riveting. Just another mud guzzler sitting in the corner, patching his clothes. Well, did he sell you anything unusual? She stares at you without blinking. Such what? Something that hits to where he went. Something he found in a weird place. Something useful. Maybe I could buy it back. Something he found in a weird place. When they hint to where we went. Yeah, I mean, that's really the only thing I care about. Browns, I'll tell you if I think of anything. I sound especially bothered by his disappearance. No, let's not push that. We'll return to this later. Maybe. Once our souls are too restless to stay quiet. What do you mean by that? Trust me enough to tell me what she knows about Asterion. She knows something. Ugh. Well, I am looking for work. She grins. Last time I doubt you're here to forage me, love. Not that I have any room for another soul. Let me think. She runs her eyes over the shelves and the trophies, but it's the rocks surrounding the fireplace that catch her attention. Was that a... Were you flirting with me? No, couldn't be. The folks at Old Pagos are weirdly quiet. They were supposed to drop 2 wagons of rocks at my place. Can you check on them? Just find out if they're fine? Ooh. Yeah, you're not collecting news. You mentioned the payment. It won't take much work from a rider. You can get there and back in less than a day. Just ride west of here until the road takes you south to the crossroads. Turn west again and you'll find the village. I'll give you, let's say, a dragon bone. You said it's not much, but she waves it off. A Roadwarden should get familiar with all the villages anyway, right? Just do it when you have a chance. I'll have more coin for you once you prove you can be trusted with the simpler tasks. Well, I'm back. Bring news from Old Pagos. They're not good. Listening to your tale, she rubs her forehead. Well, not what I was hoping to hear, love, but I'm glad you went there. Better warn the other settlements. Folks should know before they send their own messengers. It's going to be a rough few seasons for all of us. He pulls out a dragon bone from her pocket and tosses in your direction. Here, good job. She steps toward the ajar door and looks at the lake. Okay. I'm gonna do anything else? Scratches the stump of her missing arm. Her powerful voice carries a hint of a threat. Any soul can handle a delicate task, and I'm not sure it's you, dear. Fair, not exactly delicate. What can you tell me about the peninsula? She nods. Oh, this and that. Which place? What can you tell me about... Not Tulia's camp. I don't need to know anything about that. Ruins. How many places you call that, dear? Oh, come on. Ruin Village. Steep House. Aye. It keeps coming back to me, the poor little place. Those ruins used to be the richest village in the north, place so close to the pass through Hag Hills, prolific for traders and travelers. Really? Her eyes show sorrow. They carried about the southern road, unlike the hunters from Pelt. They farmed, looked after their forest garden, yet she looks away and puts a thumb under her scarred lips. They would have done better spending the dragons on a proper wall, not that pitiful palisade of theirs. They were inviting monsters. So that's... Alright, that's the same story I hear. The herd. Ah, okay. What about the... Not stump. Altar. Haven't heard of such a place. Alright. Mines. Oh, come on. Mine?
Well, that's all I can think of right now. Okay. I have some questions about the peninsula. Oh, that was the same thing. I have some questions about the peninsula. I've heard there are some bandits in the north, right? I wanted to ask about the bandits, but they're not a place, so I didn't ask them. She makes an annoyed grimace.
What can I tell you, dear? You know how it goes. Lost souls in a new path after an awfulness finds them, but the years go by and doesn't get any easier. One day, they take a pile of firewood, another one, some bread and clothes, and after they start hurting folks, there's no way back, even if they're not at all cruel.
You ask her some more, but she's reluctant to give you straightforward answers. If you don't have to worry about Glacier's band.
They hunt, sometimes take this and that, scavenge after folks who get jumped by beasts, but she never tried to threaten my place. You're safe here. Why would they try to bother a Roadwarden?
She may be right, some bandits are just desperate. I frown, but bite my tongue. If Havlavin sends his soldiers here, she may face consequences for supporting the outlaws. No, I'm not gonna tell on her. I've been in situations before, I understand. More than you would think. Have you heard anything about the necromancers here in the north? Rubs her chin.
I don't like what they're doing one bit, but I can't blame them. The folks at the White Marshes struggle, and they don't know how to protect their kids. They have this Aurentius, their priest.
I heard about him. Cracks her shoulders.
Quiet man, but preaches like a zealot. Always looks like he's on the verge of crying.
She opens the door with a wave of her hand, letting in some fresh air. She looks at the lake. They used to trade in lumber.
Those from Marshes, until Howler's Dell started selling their own trees for better prices. The trade to Marshes died, and so came the hunger.
That's kind of cruel of them. She looks at you with an unclear grimace on her lips.
You may judge them, but at least their preacher gave them hope, even if it's tied to black magic.
I will distrust them. And I will judge them. Though they have more pressing things than me to worry about. Now, what more can you tell me about your tavern? Her finger taps on her chest loudly.
Nah, find no pleasure in talks that serve no reason.
I feel like she's liking me less and less as talks go on. Okay. What do you have for sale? Well, first, I have some things I'm willing to part with, if you're willing to look at them.
I may be willing to buy them, love.
Berry picking hook. What about this?
I don't need this, but it's a nice claw. She raises to the beam of light. Pebblers? Must have lost in the woods. I put it maybe there.
She points to the shelf with her chin.
3 dragons, more than fair.
I might need it. Maybe later. What do you have for sale?
Now you're talking, she grins. Well, I could serve you some of my cooking. Not food rations, mind you. Need what we have, saved for the winter season. Let's say you give me a dragon, in return I'll cook for you 4 times. You just need to ride up when you're hungry, and other than that, you won't take any wood or stone, are you?
Seeing your shrug, she waves it off and heads toward the trapdoor. After a minute, she shows up with the sack that clangs after every step.
I can sell you some scraps.
She pulls out a couple of iron clasps, nails, and a broken steel blade. Value trash.
We found them while foraging. We don't have a furnace and creeks, but you could sell these bits and pieces to someone else.
She observes you for a moment and then shrugs.
That's rice?
Oh, let me take a look first. Fresh meals. A set of bits and pieces. I only have just enough. Maybe I could sell it at Creeks or somewhere else. Sorry. I need the dragon coins. Well, I guess it's time for me to go. Although I might head back here. Which enters around, slowly moving as far as the court allows it. Wash myself in the lake. You enter the bridge and move to its edge. Somewhere below you notice a glimmer. Hey you, step back, run! Without even thinking, you leap towards the yard. A long, teeth-filled mouth breaks through the water surface, splashing in every direction. It bites the empty place where you were just standing, while the front limbs, thick-scaled and ending with claws as large as your fingers, land on wood. Once the saurian's yellow eyes notice that you're outside of its reach, he nonchalantly slides into the lake. You hear laughter come from the yard. A large forager who's wearing leather was running with help, but now stands with hands on his thighs, cackling without rest. The man in black fur, on the other hand, looks at you with worry. You see a hand kept beneath his cloak to be reaching for something. What are you doing, eh? The lake isn't for outsiders. Gasped for air and thanked them for the warning. I'll stay away, don't you worry. I raised my voice. Maybe warn me first. No, that's fine. Stay calm, cool, and collected. Stay away, don't you worry. He nods and gestures for his companion to cut it. They both move toward the gate. Alright. Guess I'll take the time to get to know them. Once the man in black fur hears your steps, he nudges your companion, nods toward you. Put away the old noose traps that they were trying to fix, proper for hares and small birds. The tall one spreads his arms, thundering his loud welcome. A Roadwarden, eh? I guess we're going to see each other a lot. I'm Elon, and this shorty here is Tizzy. The man in black fur looks up, frowning. There's also the one-handed man you saw in the attic. Unlike the rest of the staff, he has an unkempt beard and worn clothes made of blue fabric, patched with scraps of flour sacks. He's looking down to examine a trap, but his shoulders are slumped, eyes absent. Elon doesn't introduce him. Right. Leto, nice to meet you. Elon smiles. Maria Pelton Nortia, friend. He blushes. How's Dalek doing? She's well. What? She seems to keep the whole crew together. How do you two know each other? His voice gets drowsy. Her soul is young, but everyone listens when she speaks. She's always so bored, that one. His smile turns into a grin. Better say hi to her for us. Her boss was looking for hard drinks and healing potions. I wish I could have helped her. He glanced at his companion, who's currently observing a column of ants running alongside the palisade. They're offering good prices, and she was really good at dice and told us about so many monsters. Tizzy adjusts his black cloak. Traps won't fix themselves. What brings you to us? Elon frowns at this interruption, but says nothing. Okay. Don't know why I was jealous there. What's your plan? I could use some work. That's true, I could use some work. Nah, we have none. You're a bit late, friend, adds Elon. We were hoping to catch that large bird, one that used to roam in the valley south of here, but it's gone. Looks like no more hunting for us. I turn toward the other without a hand. Do you know Tulia? Wait, was this the guy who ran away? Maybe we'll save that conversation for later. You ever been an Aristos the Trapper? Exchange looked at Tizzy just his dark cloak. Well, we don't hunt all that much, just catch birds and so on. Why don't you dry in creeks? That will be the plan. Though, if all goes well, I probably won't use them. Listen to the druid's advice. Pagans, they seem like fine folk. Do you often have travelers here? And his voice is like a thunder. Nah, we may very well be the last ones this season. Sometimes a group of adventurers, who knows why, and sudden traders in spring and autumn. Most of our visitors are from the villages, usually creeks and Gale Rocks. They leave goods at our place or just outside, and my ma barters in their name with the others. I mean rocks, timber, furs, and barreled fish can wait a few days. Oh, can you tell me about the peninsula? See, lets out a sigh. Not much to see here, eh? Trees, rocks, ponds. I've never been to Howlers. He starts, but then Elon chips in. No, I have a couple times. A nice place, kind folks, lots of grain. They have but one trader, a Kakios. Pays poorly, but at least doesn't waste one's time, gets straight to the point, see? Thinks for a bit. And they're also tall, twice as tall as he is. He points at Svi, who frowns and squeaks back at him. Bullshit. You gossip for the next few minutes, but the things they share with you are of little use. They end up saying that you should talk with Foggy instead. She used to travel a lot and speaks with every visitor. Right. I should ask her about the other villages. I forgot to do that. But I'll be back. Now about that one without a hand. Any chance you happen to know Tulia? The man gives you a surprised glance, but then looks down and crosses his arms, holding his hand under his shoulder. I'm a new man now. There's nothing that ties me to the army. He has the accent of the city folk, same as yours. You've crossed a great part of this land, greater than most. Have you seen anything unusual? I'm not here to drag you back. Do I think it's cowardly? Yes. Am I friends with Tulia and judge you for, her circumstances? Maybe a little. But we've all done things in the past. Crossed a great part of this land, greater than most, really. Have you seen anything unusual? He takes a deep breath, his voice is close to a whisper. There's fog in my soul. I was on the eastern road, hungry and sick, praying for the right to send its beast on me and save me from the pains of living. I remember the touch of fur and the breath on my neck, the claws pinning me to the ground. I was waiting with my eyes closed, and I woke up in the middle of the night still feeling. I got back on my feet, walking until I reached the lights of this tavern, without so much as a bruise. Foggy may have no faith in her heart, but the right used her kindness to give me a second chance. Elin frowns at the man's words, and there's cautiousness in his voice. He may be crazy, but it's true he came after midnight, raving. Maybe the monsters don't like his scent. Maybe. Never heard of that happening, though. So he forgot everything? He hides a stump in the palm of his hand and curls up. I've seen a dragon eating a tree, an ape that tore away the head of a monster's cat, and a wolf without fur that was as quick as lightning. Now leave me alone, evil spirit. Let my shame rest. He's shaking. Let him be, eh? Tizzy grunts at you. Nothing wrong about a man trying to forget. No, there isn't. He rubs his chin. For this wolf friend. I've heard about one. Our tribesfolk saw it in the heart of the woods. Nasty beast, let's hope it won't find a mate for breeding. It charges like a runner and jumps right at your throat. He touches his neck, so even the hunters stay away from it. Too bad we've no crossbows. He raises his wooden club. Hey, better to avoid the deep woods than without one. Kai seems to be too on edge to speak anymore. He won't tell me about his visions. I have nothing more to say. Alright, it was nice knowing you guys. I might be back later. We have 6 hours. Let's see what else we can get done today on these muddy roads.